Welcome to our online video tutorials in accounting. For today, I will be teaching you how to compute depreciation, accumulated depreciation, and carrying amount for the property, plant, and equipment items. So for this one, we will be using equipment as our PPE, and I will be demonstrating to you the application of the different depreciation methods, which consists of the following: the straight line method, the sum of the years digit method, the double declining balance method, and the input and output methods. So I will also be using same given for all the demonstrations. So for the first one, we will have the straight line method. So for the straight line method, it's the simplest method of all, because you simply need to get the depreciable amount, which is equivalent to your cost minus the residual value, and you divide it by the useful life. Okay, and you will get here the annual depreciation, but take note, if the useful life is in months, so you divide this by the number of months, so this would be the monthly depreciation. But since in the problem we use years, so this will be the annual depreciation. So this is the depreciation for every year. Okay. Then this annual depreciation would be our uniform depreciation. So if we are going to get the depreciation for year one, so that would be 90,000. For year two, that's the same 90,000. Year three until year five. To get the accumulated depreciation, we need to sum up all the previous depreciation plus the current depreciation. So for example, for year one, we only have 1 year, so our accumulated depreciation is 90,000. And then for year two, our accumulated depreciation would be 180,000, which is the sum of the year one and year two depreciation. After year three, our accumulated depreciation would be 270,000, which is the sum of 90,000 for year one, 90,000 for year two, and 90,000 for year three, and so on. On the last year of its useful life, so your accumulated depreciation should be 450,000 pesos, which is equivalent to our depreciable amount. So that the carrying amount after year 5 would be 50,000 pesos, which is equivalent to our residual value. So how do we get the carrying amount? For example, on year one. So to get the carrying amount on year one, that would be equivalent to the cost minus the accumulated depreciations. For example, 500,000 minus 90,000 here. So that's 410,000. How about for the second year? So this is for year one. And then we have for year two, that would be 500,000 again. And then the accumulated depreciation for year two is 180,000. So this would be 320,000. Okay. Now to get the depreciation for 2018, so we have only 8 months because it was bought on May 1, 2018. Okay, so you're going to get the fractional depreciation. So that is equivalent to 90,000 times 8 over 12 equals to 60,000 pesos. So accumulated depreciation is 60,000 pesos as well. The carrying amount is 440,000. Again, that's 500,000 minus 60,000. You may ask, why is it different from the one you computed earlier? So this carrying amount would be the carrying amount if your asset was acquired exactly on January 1 or January 2, or at the start of the year, because you will have a full depreciation from January until December 31. But since in our problem, our acquisition date is May 1, 2018, so we only have a total of 8 months. So that's from May 1, 2018 to December 31, 2018. That's why we need to get the equivalent depreciation for only 8 months. So that would be 60,000. Then for year two, there's a remainder of the depreciation from year one. So remember, we have 90,000 supposed to be for the year one depreciation, and we only recognize 60,000 because there's only 8 months for 2018 that the asset is being used. So you have 90 minus 60, that would be 30,000. Or you may use the formula or the equation 90,000 times 4 over 12. So that would be 30,000 pesos. Now, from May 1, 2019 to December 31, 2019 would be on the year 2, that is 90,000. So you have 8 over 12 again times 90,000, so you will get 60,000 pesos. So you have to remember for year 2, for 2019. So that would be equivalent to a whole year. So that's from January until December. But the good thing about the straight line method is you no longer need to compute this one because uh, naturally, or um, even if without computing this one, you will still arrive with the same annual depreciation, the same with this one. Okay? Because since the yearly depreciation computed here is the same, so practically if the usage of the asset is for the whole year round, so you will get the same depreciation expense. So mag-differ lang siya sa acquisition year and the last year sa yung useful life. Because here, 60,000 siya ka 8 months, and then the last year, which is 2023, that's the fifth year, it will end exactly on April 30. So there's only 3 months sa 2023, and that's the remainder of the year 5 depreciation. So that would be 30,000. So ang sumpay adtong 60,000 pag recognize niya sa ato ang depreciation na diri ang 30,000. Okay? So every year same lang, 90,000 lang siya gihapon gyud. Ang ano lang, ang fractional lang is the year 1, as the start of the year 1 and the end of the year niya. And you will still get the accumulated depreciation of 450,000, same here, so that you can arrive also at the carrying amount of 50,000, which is equivalent to the residual value. So now we will proceed with the sum of the year's digit. So again, we will still be using the same data we used in the previous problem. So this time, we will be applying the sum of the year's digit. So it got its name because of the process in getting the denominator, which will be a part of the fraction that we are going to multiply by our depreciable amount. So to get the denominator, this is the formula. SYD denominator is equivalent to the life plus 1 divided by 2 multiplied by the life. So we are just going to substitute here the useful life. So 5 plus 1 divided by 2 times 5, that's 15. Okay, so what will be the use of this 15? This will be again our denominator. So why is it that it is sum of the year's digit? So it is sum of the year's digit because if you are going to use the long way on how to get the denominator, so this is how you do it. So you're going to add the years. So how do we add the years? That's if that is 5 years, so that's 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. And the sum of that would be 15. Okay, so if the useful life is 3 years, so you're going to add 1 plus 2 plus 3, and that would be 6. So our SYD denominator for that one would be 6. Okay, so let's proceed. So since we're using 15 here, or we have derived 15 from the computation, so this will be our denominator. And this denominator again will be used as part of the fraction. This will be the denominator of our fraction. And how do we get the fraction that we're going to multiply? So that would be the numerator would be uh, the life of the asset. So that would be 5. Okay, so 5, and then the following year will be 4, and then that will be 3, 2, and then 1. So as a result of this fraction, obviously your depreciation will be higher in the earlier years of the asset, and it will be lesser as the years go by. So the philosophy for this one is that they would like to match our um, costs and the benefits. So if we are getting more benefits on the earlier life of the asset, which is obvious because if the asset is still new, it can provide us more outputs, and it performs better compared to the later years. So dapat uh, mo match po sila, proportional pod ang ato ang expenses sa unsa po'y gihatag sa ato ang machine. Unlike the straight line method, which is uniform siya, so dili man gyud uniform every year ang deterioration sa asset, so dili kayo siya realistic, although it's very very simple to apply, pero wala siya mo match sa ato ang benefits nga ato ang ma-derive from the use of the asset. So let's proceed. So what would be our depreciation expense for year 1? So that would be 150,000, and then 120,000 for the year 2, 90,000 for year 3, 60,000 for year 4, and 30,000 for year 5. So what if we're using 3 years as its useful life? So again, our denominator would be 6. That's 1 plus 2 plus 3. So what would be our fraction? Since that's 3 years, we'll start with 3. 3 over 6, 2 over 6, and then 1 over 6. Okay? So this would be our annual depreciation, provided that the asset was acquired the on January 1. So your depreciation really for the first year would be 150,000. But what if you did not acquired you did not acquire the asset exactly on January 1. So in this problem, we're using May 1. So we will get the fractional depreciation for the acquisition year. So it's not good for 12 months since we only have from May until December. That's 8 months. So let's start with 2018. So for year 1, we only have 8 months. So that's 150,000, which is derived from this one, times 8 over 12, and you will get 100,000 pesos. Okay? Then you have for year 2, or sorry, year 2019, we still have remainder from year 1. So remember, our year 1 depreciation is 150,000, and we only accounted for 100,000 as of 2018. So naapay remainder, naapay sobra na 50,000. Okay? Or if you want to compute that, so 150,000 times 4 over 12. So this one, 8 over 12, should be paired with this one to get 12 months, or the 1 year, or the year 1 depreciation. Next, we'll begin with the year 2 depreciation, which is 120,000 here. So 120,000 times 8 over 12, that's from May 1 until December 31, 2019. So May 1, 2019 will be the start of our year 2. So that's equivalent to 80,000. So the total depreciation for 2019 from January to December would be 130,000. So now our accumulated depreciation would be the 2018 and 2019 depreciation. So 130 and 100,000, that's 230,000. And to get the carrying amount, so that would be 500,000 cost minus 100,000 here. So 400,000 is the carrying amount as of 2018. For 2019 is 400,000 minus 230,000, you will get 270,000. Okay? For year 3, year 2020, there's still a remainder from year 2. So that's 120 minus 80. So napay remainder na 40,000. And then we will now start with the, sorry, this is year 3. Year 3 depreciation. Year 3 depreciation. And then this is year 4. And this is year 5. Okay. So remainder of the year 2 depreciation, again, you have 40, and then you have the start of the year 3 depreciation. So that's 90,000 coming from here times 8 over 12. So that's from May 1, 2020 until December 31. So that would be 60,000. Then sum them up. Your total depreciation is 100,000. Accumulated depreciation is 230 plus 100. That's 330. And so your carrying amount would be 170. And you follow the same step until you reach the last year. Okay. So the last year here would be supposed to be, this would be 30,000. Okay. This would be 30,000. So you have 30,000 times 8 over 12 is 20,000. Okay. Again, why 8 over 12? Because you have from May 1 until December 31. And then for the last year, you have 30,000 times 4 over 12. So to complete this one, so the remainder is 10,000. And accumulated depreciation after 5 years would be 450,000. And the carrying amount will be the 50,000 residual value. Okay, so that's for the sum of the years digit. So it's slightly complicated if the month acquired is not exactly January 1. Next would be the double declining balance. Okay, so double declining balance is more complicated compared to the SYD. So now let's explore how this is being done. Okay, so same given, but this is double declining balance. So we need to get the double declining balance rate or double declining rate. So to compute that, that's equivalent to 2 over the useful life. So 2 is constant. So for this problem, since the life is 5 years, so 2 over 5, that's 40%. Okay, so 40% will be the rate that we will be using in determining the annual depreciation. But since it is declining balance, we are going to multiply the 40% to the remaining balance after we have deducted the preceding depreciations. Okay, so how do we do that? So first we will begin with the amount that we will multiply by the 40%. For this one, we will not be using the residual value in this problem in determining the annual depreciation, but we will be using the 50,000 later on in the last year. Okay, so now let's proceed. How to get the yearly depreciation? You will start with 500,000 again. In the double declining balance method, we will not use the residual value in getting the annual depreciation, but we're going to apply that on the last year. So 500,000 times 40% is 200,000. Okay? So our accumulated depreciation is 200,000 pesos. For year 2, since this is a declining balance, so this is the formula. So if we want to use the long way first, the long way, it would be this one. So we will start with the original cost. So we have the original balance, which is 500,000. So this is again the long form. And then we will deduct the depreciation that we have recognized previously. So we have recognized 200,000. Okay, so the balance would be 300,000. And from this 300,000, we are going to multiply our 40%, okay? So multiply this by 40%, okay? 40%. So you will get, sorry, okay, 40%, okay, 40%. So you will get, okay, 300,000 times 40% would be 120,000. Okay, 120,000. So that's how you will get this one. But if you want the shortcut, you don't need to write the balances. So this is how you are going to do it. 500,000 times 60% times 40%. Why 60? Because we remove the 40%, which is this one, 200,000, and then you multiply it immediately by 40%. So you just take out 100% minus the 40% that we have already deducted, this one, which is equivalent to 200,000, and then multiplied by 40%. And you will still get the same answer, 120,000. Then for year 3, since we will be deducting the previous 2 years depreciation, so we have 260%, 260%. So 500,000 times 60% times 60%, then times 40%, which is our double declining rate. So you will get 72,000. So if you want to use the long form, so that's 500,000 minus 320,000, which is the sum of the previous depreciation, and then you multiply that by 40%, you will get 72,000. Next is for the following year. So you have 500,000 times 60% times 60% times 60% times 40%. You will get 43,200. And then for the year 5, that's 500,000 times 60% times 60% times 60% times 60% times 40%. And you will get 225,920. But if you're going to sum up all of the depreciation, you will arrive at 461,120, which is greater than the maximum accumulated depreciation of 450,000. Why is it this would be the maximum accumulated depreciation? Because we have the residual value of 50. So at the end of the life of the asset, the residual value should still be 50,000. So since nalapas man siya sa 450,000, so dili 25,920 dapat ang depreciation for the last year. Okay? So it's not the correct depreciation. So what should be the depreciation for last year's? This is our revised table. Okay, so to get the depreciation for year 4, so this is how you will do it. You have year 4 accumulated depreciation. Sorry, year 5. This is year 5. Sorry, the year 5 accumulated depreciation should be 450,000. Okay? Para ang mahabilin is 50,000 nga residual value. So again, required year 5 accumulated depreciation should be 450,000. And as of year 4, this is year 4. As of year 4, our accumulated depreciation is this one, 435,200. So our depreciation for year 5 should be 14,800. Okay, so here is our revised depreciation table. Okay, so 14,800 would be transferred here. So 14,800 is our depreciation expense. So we will discard this one because we need to get the balancing figure of 14,800. Then you have 450,000. That is our accumulated depreciation if we are using 14,800. So this should be the last depreciation. Now let's proceed to the yearly by year 2018 to 2023 depreciation. So we will start with, okay, so I'm going to freeze this first. Okay. So we will start with the year 1, 2009, 2018. Okay. So we have 200,000 coming from this one for the year 1. So copy here 200,000 times 8 over 12. Again, it's 8 over 12 because the acquisition date is May 1. So that would be 133,333. So accumulated depreciation is 133,333. For 2019, we have the remainder of the year 1 depreciation. So 133,333. So we need 200,000. So the remainder is 66,667. For year 2, we have 120,000 and multiply that by 8 over 12. That's from May 1 to December 31, 2019. Okay, so that's 80,000 pesos. Then the remainder of the year 2 depreciation, now 120,000 is 40,000. Now for the year 3, that's 72,000 times 8 over 12 again. So that's 48,000. So total depreciation expense is 88,000. Then accumulated depreciation is 368,000. Then proceed with 2021. So that's 24,000, and you have the year 4 depreciation 43,200 times 8 over 12, that's 28,800. So the total depreciation expense is 52,800. Then you have 2022, that's the remainder of the year 4 depreciation. You have 14,400, and then now we have the balancing figure to arrive at 450,000. So that's 14,800 times 8 over 12, that's 9,867. So the total would be 24,267. Accumulated depreciation is 445,067. Okay, and our carrying amount as of this time is 54,933. So to arrive at our residual value of 50,000, we will be needing 4,933, which is exactly the answer if we multiply the 14,800 times 4 over 12. So that's 4,933. So the difference here is that we need to adjust the final year so that it will suit the required accumulated depreciation basing on the required residual value, since we have indicated that at the end of 5 years, the residual value should be 50,000 pesos. Okay. Now, let's proceed with the production method. Okay, so the production method is based on the production. So it could be based on the inputs or based on the outputs. So we have additional information with this one. So we have information as to the units produced and the manufacturing hours. Okay, 2018, 19. 22. Sorry, we still have one year. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it's okay. So 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22. That's 5 years. So for this one, we will not going to obtain any fraction because we're not basing the depreciation based on the passage of time, but it's based on the outputs and the inputs. Okay, so these are the outputs and these are the inputs. So first, let us compute using the output method. So to get the depreciation, we need to get the depreciation rate. So this is our depreciation rate. Okay, so to get the depreciation rate, so we need to get the depreciable amount. So that's the cost is 500,000 minus the residual value. you will get the depreciable amount and divide by the total units produced. So we obtain that here. So just sum up all the units produced. So for every unit produced, the corresponding depreciation rate is 2.25 or 2 pesos and 25 centavos. So to get the annual depreciation, so just multiply the units produced each year by the depreciation rate. So we have 50,000 times 2.25. So you will get 112,500. And the same process, accumulated depreciation is the sum of all the depreciations from the start of acquisition or usage of the asset. Year 2, you have 35,000. Just copy that. 35,000 times 2.25. So that would be 78,750. Accumulated depreciation is the sum of these 2 years. Then, and so on. Just multiply that and you will get the depreciation. And of course, at the end of its useful life, you will arrive with 50,000 residual value. So now let's go to the second one is the input method. So this is input. So input method. In input, not in out. Input method. So what is input method? So it is based on the inputs, which is in this problem we are using the manufacturing hours. So again, this is your depreciation rate. So to get the depreciation rate, just simply get the depreciable amount again, 450,000, and divide it by the total number of manufacturing hours, which is 120,000 hours. So for every hour, the depreciation rate is 3.75. So the same process earlier, just multiply the number of hours by the depreciation rate. You will get the total depreciation for every year, and then you do the same for every year and then get the accumulated depreciation. Again, your carrying amount is equivalent to your cost minus the accumulated depreciation for every year. Okay, so I hope this video tutorial helps you with your study in the depreciation of the property, plant, and equipment. So see you in our next video lesson. If you like this video, don't forget to click like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be updated with the latest video lessons. Thank you for watching.